Alright, so now we are going to be doing um energy, work, and power. So, what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. That is what energy is. Energy is stored in many different energy stores. Kinetic energy is mainly thought to be active energy, however, it is an energy store. Gravitational energy is an energy stored by the gravitational potential of an object. For example, ball is here on top of a table. If it falls off, it has a potential energy because it's above the ground. Chemical energy is stored in the chemical bonds of an object. We use this when we eat. When we eat something, the chemical bonds are broken and we get energy. There's elastic energy, um, nuclear energy, electric energy, and thermal energy. So, um, so how are we to calculate this energy? Um, energy can be transferred between. Never mind. Sorry. Energy can be transferred between stores, or can be transformed. Energy can never be destroyed. Um, for example, when you're running, this is you, and you're running. You have chemical potential energy from your food, and which is turned into kinetic energy, which is your movement. So it is transferred, or transformed, and transformed. Anyways, now how to calculate energy? So the main things we can calculate is kinetic energy, symbolized by an EK, is equal to wash 1/2 mass times velocity squared. This is measured in joules, and the mass is might seem weird, but it's measured in kilograms. What? Oh dear. The mass is measured in kilograms, and the velocity is measured measured in meters per second. Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. Meters per second. This will give you the kinetic energy measured in joules. There is also gravitational potential energy, GPE, which is equal to mass times gravitational field strength times height change. So delta height if you're feeling fancy. So mass kg, gravitational field strength. If it doesn't state in the question, it's going to be 9.8 um, meters per second, but it might say like it's 10, or it might say we're on another planet, so it's 15. Scribbling machines. And height is in meters. That gives you GP measured in joules. Yeah. Okay. So next we're gonna look at sources of energy, how we get energy. Where'd my mouse go? How are we gonna get sources of energy. Well, the main one used right now is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels burn stuff like coal or gas, and what this does, burning it heats up water, and which in a small pipe. So this is your coal. It's heating up water in a pipe, turning the water into steam, and the steam spins a turbine, and the turbine transforms the um, kinetic energy to electrical energy because of magnetism, which is why it's possible. And then the water is liquefied again, condensed. However, the burning of coal creates dangerous and unhealthy gases, which is not good. Which is why we also need to use renewable energy sources. That's non-renewable. So renewable would be wind. There's wind. So the wind directly moves the turbine, creating energy. There's hydropower, such as like dams. So say there's this dam here, and there's a lot of water here. Pipe, and then the water leaves. So what happens here is that the water has gravitational potential energy, so it goes down through the dam. And here there would be a turbine. So when the water goes down, it would spin the turbine, which will connect to a generator, which will make it into electricity through magnetism and stuff. And then the water is let out, which is also renewable. This is also done with tidal barrages as tides go up and down. Yeah. And there's also another renewable energy is solar panels, solar energy. Yeah, you don't need to know much about solar energy. There's also nuclear fuels, but yeah, you don't need to know much about those. You just need to know that they exist. Next, we're going to look at work. Now, what is work? That is the question. Work is equal to change in energy transferred. Delta energy transferred. The formula is force times distance moved in the direction of the force. Meters and newtons. Yeah, and there's also power. Power is equal to work divided by time. By the way, work is measured in joules and power is measured in watts. While you might remember watts from electricity. So yeah, there's also energy efficiency. So basically, you get the energy output, you have the useful energy output, and the total energy output, and you multiply that by 100% to get a energy efficiency, which you can put into a Sankey diagram, but you don't need to know those for IGCSE because they are pretty stupid. Next, we're going to look at pressure. Okay, pressure. Now pressure is measured in pascals. In a previous video, I stated that density is measured in pascals. I was wrong. That is incorrect. Forget what I said. But pressure is sorry. Pressure is measured in pascals. Pressure is equal to force in newtons times area in um, meters squared. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks.